Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to a budget PvE tank guide video. I got a little bit frustrated of waiting for sometimes up to an hour, for a tank usually, to get inside of a dungeon when queuing as a damage dealer. Therefore, I've been cooking up this sweet sword GreatSword setup so I can farm my loot a bit more efficiently. There are several very good guides and weapon combo options when it comes to tanking in Thrones and Liberty, but my main goal was to make a tanking setup which is viable with a minimum combat power of 1600. The requirement to enter those co-op dungeons. With that being said, let's get started. How to get the gear for free? If you are in a guild, and the guild is at least level 10, you can buy those rare special weapon selection chests. And as the name implies, you can just select about any weapon there is. Just go for a shield and for the sword here. I mix it with the GreatSword. The GreatSword is really strong right now. Not only that, that's not the only reason, but as far as I understood it, another very good one is with the wand. People like to heal. I have the ability to heal a little bit, but the point is this combo requires the least amount of items. So it really works with just the bare minimum of 1600, and that's important. If you are fresh level 50 or are you like me, you just want to reroll into this real quick to farm up good gear to go back to an actual setup just to enjoy some instant invites into dungeons. So yeah, therefore that's the way to go. GreatSword is the way to go. Every other combination, every other tank spec requires more gear. For the stats, strength is the main stat for this build, so I just dumped everything into here. While you can see the rotation and the basic boss pull on the left side of the screen, I will explain my skill bar on the right side. So the first three thingies here, build up aggro. It's Piercing Strike, Cruel Smite, and Provoking Roar. Those three are damage dealing abilities from the GreatSword's in quote skill tree. Gaia Crash, Will Breaker, it's like a little 360 attack, and Guillotine Blade. On the other side here are just about every defensive cooldowns this build has to offer. So starting out here with Da Vinci's Courage, Devoted Sanctuary. I have a Shield Rush here. This is personal preference. It's not really necessary. Immortal Pride, Calm the Barrier, and Stalwart Bastion. Every pull, if it's not on cooldown of course, but yeah, I would start out with this. Followed by Devoted Sanctuary. Charge in. Build up aggro. Start damaging. Preferably Gaia Strike first. And then Guillotine Strike to deal damage. If there is more damage incoming and I need more defensive layers, I just pop my longer defensive cooldowns here. And that's it. So buff up the mates. Maybe mitigate damage. And build up aggro. Another very important mechanic as a tank is blocking or parry. So it's indicated by this purple circle at the boss. And yeah, you just gotta press Q the right moment. And you just block his ability. There's like almost no incoming damage then. And yeah, helps the healer of course. Healer can instead heal teammates. Another tip I can give you is if there is, especially when starting out with like a low combat power like I have, like around 1700, you should let the teammates know that you are a fresh level 50. So what I usually do is I just type in a group, hey, what's up? I'm a fresh level 50 tank. I have some decent gear. I have 50 strength, but keep in mind, if your combat power is like 2000 or more, you will pull aggro if you go full ham on DPS. So there's nothing you can do about it. If you have damage dealers in the group, which have way more combat power than you and way better gear, they will pull aggro. But that's usually what I do, and it works out fine. They understand that most of the time, but it's a little tip I can give you. Other than that, what I try to do is I face the boss away from the group if possible. It's fairly easy. It's easier than I thought it would be. But it's probably thanks to my build, humble brag here. Oh, it works really great. It's so tanky. It's so damn tanky. All these abilities going up to almost 18,000, 19,000 HP with dog tier items. That's nuts, man. I've looked up some planners which are using endgame gear, and they sit at around 22,000. In quotes, only 22k HP. So the difference is not even that big from like entry level to endgame gear. My job is not dealing damage. I'm a tank. Okay, this is a full tanking setup, a full PvE tanking setup, but with good gear, with upgraded gear, this will hit like a truck. So if someone wanted to play a tank which deals crazy damage, yeah, the GreatSword is the way to go, 100%. Maybe as a conclusion for this build and for the video, most importantly, maybe it does not save you from not learning the mechanics. So with some bosses, I still struggle, even though I watched the guide, not gonna lie. Luckily, the two last bosses, which in my opinion drop the best gear in the game, they are the easiest if you ask me. So I'm pretty familiar with those. But yeah, learning the mech is important. Most of us are adults by now, have a full-time job and so on, so do I. So my day only has 24 hours and I simply cannot afford sitting for 2 or 3 hours in a dungeon queue to use my coins to knock out the dungeons 3 times. It's way too inefficient. So therefore I rerolled into this tank setup. Just real quick, what's the most important to level up? I like it so much that I swapped. I swapped the levels from my fire skills to the tank skills here. But the most important one, this one, I would level this a little bit. I would level the one that says it gives flat health, this one, robust constitution. I leveled the 360, like the shout, the aggro shout first. And I leveled my Da Vinci's courage first, because that's a buff for the whole group. That's pretty much it. That's what I would do. I would level up one ability that's really good for building up aggro, and the buff. And those 2 passives. And that's really enough. Sadly, I don't have footage of it, but I had exactly 1608 combat power, and yeah, I queued for the dungeons and I tested the build for you guys, and with leveling up the spells you also increase the combat power. Therefore I have around 1700 now, which is not that much better, but I'm just saying. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave it a like and let me know what you think in the comments below. Sadly, I can't give any leveling tips for this other than stick to the GreatSword for the second weapon, because I rerolled for the sole purpose of speed farming those dungeons. Thanks again and have a nice day, guys.